Hello learners, welcome to program Certificate in Food and Nutrition. Today we will be discussing about nutrition through the life cycle in preschoolers age. It's a part of CFN 2 Block 3 Unit 10. I am Dr. Shalini Kushwaha, Assistant Professor in Discipline of Nutritional Science at Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. While learning, you will be able to answer. You can state the nutritional needs of preschool children. You can suggest solutions to problem you may encounter in feeding the preschool child. You can help preschool children to develop a good food habits and explain the role of infection in causing malnutrition. First, let us know at what age we called preschoolers. Preschoolers are children who are below 6 years of age, or we can say children between the age of 1 and 6 years. The preschooler age is described as a critical stage for formation of food habits and for proneness to infections. Preschoolers are totally dependent. As an infant, these children can crawl or walk and talk and also run and play. All these activities will influence the amount of food the preschoolers eat. This phase is very important in the child's life because they form the foundation for a lifetime of good nutritional and health practices. Now, let's talk about physiological development and food intake. Preschoolers are very active. As you know, they can walk, they can talk, they can do many activities. They grow and start gaining control over their body and body movements. These changes ensure three characteristic aspects. First, we should know that the child can eat by himself. He can eat by picking different items like carrots, biscuit and many more. Then second, he can eat the same food that the rest of the people in the family do. While we serve the food to the family, they eat the same food which the family eats. Third, his appetite may be small as compared to that in infancy. Here we have to note that appetite is small as compared to infancy because there are many other factors which we will learn in the coming slides. Children of this age have wrist control, which means that they can hold a cup and drink and also eat by themselves. By the time he is about 1 or 1.5 years old, preschool child should be eating the same food as the rest of the family eats. But spicy foods should be avoided. What we have said that foods what we eat, like family eats, child can also eat, but spicy foods should be avoided. Since their digestive tract is still not able to tolerate the spicy foods. Most of the preschoolers' nourishment should come from the solid food, though they may still have some milk as well. As you have learned that most of the time in infancy, infant feeds milk, but as he enters the preschooler's age, he should be given solid food instead of milk always. Then it is not advisable to give oily foods to the child. This is because such foods stay in the stomach longer. As a result, child may not be hungry at the next meal and may eat less than he should. So, we should avoid oily foods also. So, we should avoid spicy and oily foods. in the diet of the preschoolers. During the second and third year, preschooler need less food. Mothers are very concerned about such a sudden change because preschoolers need less food, but preschoolers do not grow as rapidly as they did during infancy. Naturally, the child's body regulates itself by having a smaller appetite. The amount of food eaten will vary from one child to another. As the child grows and becomes more and more active, he will lose some of the chubbiness and becomes lean. As long as a child is active, healthy and growing at an acceptable rate, one should expect these changes as characteristic of this group. If the child is repeatedly falling ill and is lethargic and apathic and has not gained weight for a prolonged period, then only one should worry. So, let's talk about development of food habits. In the preschoolers, food often takes second place because the child is interested in so many different things. It is at this age parents can inculcate the right attitude and good food habits. As in everything else, parents and elders are the most important influence in the child's life because the child imitates his parents and elders using them as model. So, as a parents, what we should do? Parents can do following to ensure that child develops good food habits. First, it is better not to transmit one's dislike and likes to the child. For example, sometimes while eating in the dining table, what we say that we don't like this food or we don't like, for example, Karela and bitter gourd, but we should not say like this because these likes and dislikes transfer to the child. Let the child try all kinds of vegetables and fruits. The foods you offer to the child should be well prepared and attractive also. Be patient with child even when he is messy in eating. Praise him when he eats all his food. Let him eat with the rest of his family. Discourage him for having snacks instead of regular meals. Eating too many sweets or snacks is not only monotonous but will give him only energy without the other essential nutrients. And also, sweets can lead to tooth decay. Never use food as a bribe for good behavior or punishment, especially foods he like. Many children begin mouthing objects in the middle of the first year. You have seen that. Basically, this reflects the normal hand to mouth coordination stage of development. This type of activity usually subsides during the second year of the age. Being parent, one should inculcate good manners and good food habits. We have good manners like excuse me, you are welcome, I am sorry, may I, thank you, please, and good food habits are also important for the preschoolers. The nutritional requirement for a preschoolers that preschoolers are still growing at a slow but steady pace. Therefore, all the nutrients that were important during infancy are still essential for the preschoolers. Thus, giving a well-balanced diet is a must. The preschool child, like the infant, needs more protein than adults do. Therefore, the diet should contain enough cereals and pulses, and if non-vegetarian, you can give him egg, meat and fish. Milk should not be overemphasized because the child should be eating all foods and dishes that are prepared at home. The preschooler's diet should be varied have lots of vegetables and fruits such as green leafy vegetables, yellow and orange vegetables, and fruits like carrot, pumpkin, papaya, mango, since these fruits and vegetables are rich in vitamin A and various other important minerals and vitamins. We should also give citrus fruits like guava, amla, mosami, orange and mango we should also include. Remember, seasonal fruits are cheaper in season, so include a leafy vegetable preparation at least 2 to 3 times a week. This is especially important since vitamin A deficiency is a nutritional problem in our country. So, we should include vitamin A rich sources in the diet of the preschoolers. This is a sample menu for a toddler which is up to 2 years old. In the breakfast, you can give 1 chapati or 1 bread slice, and also it is optional to give half to 1 egg and with milk of 1 glass. In the mid morning, chicky 1 piece and any seasonal fruit he can take 1. Then in lunch, he should give in rice 1/3 katori, chapati 1, dal 1/3 katori with palak potato bhaji and curd. At the tea time, he can take poha half katori or biscuits 2 to 3 with milk 1 cup. And at the dinner time, khichdi 3/4 katori with papad, raita or any other fruit, and in the night it is optional to give him milk, that is 1 cup. So, this is the sample menu for a 2 years old toddler. Then next, this is the sample menu for 4 to 5 year old preschooler. Here we can give in the breakfast 2 chapatis or 2 bread slices. Then again egg is optional, we can give him 1 egg and with milk 1 cup. In the mid morning, chicky 1 to 2 pieces, fruit half or 1 small, which can be seasonal. Then lunch, in the lunch rice half katori, chapati 1 or 1.5, dal half katori with palak potato bhaji and curd. At the tea time, poha 3/4 katori, biscuits 3 or 4 and with milk 1 cup. And in the dinner, khichdi 1.5 katori with papad, raita and fruit, which can be seasonal. Then role of infection in causing malnutrition. Preschoolers, like children of any other age, have some health problems. Among all the problems or illnesses, diarrhea and dysentery are quite common. Most cases of diarrhea are caused by the child consuming contaminated food or liquid. Infections and intercurrent illnesses play an important role in precipitating nutritional deficiencies. In the first year of life, when the child was breastfed, he was protected against diseases by his mother's milk. As you have learned earlier also, that mother's milk contains many of the important nutrients and components which helps to increase the immunity of the infant. But after 6 months, however, as the child's milk intake may gradually decrease, the protection it receives is also less. It takes some time for the child's body to build up its defense system. Under these circumstances, the child in the early preschool years is more susceptible to infection than during later years. It takes any illnesses like fever, diarrhea or measles, and the illness is a stress on the body and causes loss of weight in the child. If the illness is severe and of long duration, it may slow down the child's growth. Thus, the child may eat less than he does normally, although at such a time he actually needs more food. It is very important that during his illness, give the child Easy to digest foods with less spices and oil. Include foods for all the food groups, especially vegetables. Feed the child frequently, giving him small amounts at a time. Khichdi, soft cooked rice and dal, vegetable soups, cereals and milk porridges are easy to digest and should be included in the diet. After the child recovers, care must be taken to provide sufficient nutrition so that the child can catch up and put on weight. During the recovery stage, the child needs more food to make up and put on the weight he may have lost. Now, let's learn about the vicious cycle of infection and malnutrition. As you can see, a normal weight child, when get illness or infection, with the poor health care and inadequate food intake, he leads to underweight or he can become underweight. But when he get good health care and adequate nutrition, recovery started and he recovers soon. But during recovery or after recovery, if there is again inadequate nutrition and poor health care is there, then he may easily get infectious and secondary infection can take place, and if proper care is not taken regarding food intake and health care, then again the child can be underweight. When the child gets underweight due to poor nutrition and poor health care, still if he recovers, if he get proper food and proper health care, then again he can be normal weight with the help of proper health care. But if still in the condition inadequate food and inadequate health care is given to the child can easily be malnourished from the underweight stage. So, we should observe care from the as child get infection, we should give him proper food and proper health care so that child get proper nutrients for the development and growth. And if this malnourished child is easily prone for the frequent severe infection, so if in this stage also, if adequate food intake and proper health care is given to the child, then there are many chances that he or she may recover to his normal weight. So, care, proper health care and adequate food intake, these two aspects are very important for the child nutrition, for the child growth and development, and we should care for this. Suppose a child does not get enough food, he is exposed to infection once again. Before the child has had time to recover and catch up with the growth that he has not been able to achieve, he will fall ill again, as I have discussed earlier. This second illness will make the child weaker than he was before. If this happens repeatedly, the child will soon be underweight and may eventually become malnourished. A malnourished child is more susceptible to infection. So, the cycle goes on. If a child has diarrhea, give a child plenty of water. A simple drink for the child in diarrhea is to take 1 glass of water which has been boiled and cooled. Add 1 tablespoon of sugar and a pinch of salt to it, and add some lemon juice to it as well. It is optional. Give this to the child and 1 glassful for every motion he has by giving a few teaspoons at a time. However, this is only a temporary measure. Other foods should also be given like soft cooked rice, banana, khichdi, rice kanji and others. It is not necessary to restrict food to the child when he is ill. However, spicy foods should be restricted. So, what we have learnt till now? Adequate nutrition to his preschooler is as important as it is for infants. From being totally dependent, the child is now able to move, control his movements and he is able to communicate. Preschoolers can feed themselves. Often appetite decreases in these years because needs of growth are less and because the child is involved in many other activities. Food habits which will last a lifetime are established at this age, with parents being an extremely important influence. Illness depletes nutrient stores of a child and makes him lose appetite and eat less food. After recovery, it is important to give sufficient food so that the child can catch up and put on the weight he may have lost. Thank you. Till now, hope you enjoyed the session.